Here, that's a little safer. Here, this one.
Yes, exactly.
All right, here, ready?
Someone's gonna get. Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Oh yes. Okay. Is that the ball? No. No. Are you taking the ball? Hey, where's the ball?
Hello?
Finger. Really eerie phone call concerning an appointment to set this whole thing up. And I mean, even prior to that, it does a really good job of setting up this idea of this family man, this father figure. You're thinking, oh, there's redeeming qualities to this person. Look at the cute baby, who is a star, by the way. So much great foreshadowing, juicy bits of foreshadowing. Some I caught immediately because, with the cherry cutting, I'm like, is that where he's going to lose his finger from? Some I didn't catch until the end, like the axe cutting. I didn't catch that till the end. And even just that I'm going to split you open. Like, I'm like, a lot of cutting humor, a lot of cutting references. So I'm like, something's getting cut and it's likely going to be a finger. The theme I feel like is your past will always catch up to you. Recompense in the form of a finger. The suitcase full of fingers, so eerie, so gross. And apparently it's a vicious cycle. So I came to the conclusion that this has been some unserved crime. Maybe a crime of passion, maybe it's a crime when he was younger, or maybe this is a habitual crime for this person. I feel like that wasn't 100% clear. But I did get the sense that he has since changed and isn't necessarily a threat to society at the moment. But in a moment of blacking out, he was definitely a threat to this woman. And apparently he's not the only one. So with his father, this happened as well. And she also, this eerie woman also references that, this is a cycle, do you want to do what type of father you want to be for your son? And so sometimes you do wonder if that type of violent tendency runs in the family, abusive tendency runs to the family, but there was nothing about him that necessarily came off as creepy or abusive in the character, which I think was purposeful, because it's like, we don't want you to guess too soon what this appointment is about. But he does come to terms that he has to admit and pay for his crimes. And I think it's more so about the admittance of the wrongdoing and the acceptance of the wrongdoing than it is about the finger. And I mentioned already the axe, chopping of wood, and the cutting of the finger is definitely a complete foreshadowing to the same moment in motion when the cut comes down on his finger. I thought it was very interesting to find out that this is all in his head. And so even with his father, the picture where the finger appears cut off and then doesn't appear cut off, you can see that this is meant to be a consistent reminder to the person of the victim's plight, even though no one else really knows what's going on. And I got the sense that this guilt is not done following him. And I don't know what he's going to do with it, but you can kind of assume that this is not just something he's going to be able to swallow moving forward, which is where the real recompense comes from. Because every time you look at this, is a visual reminder of a life you took, of something violent you did, and now something violent's been done to you. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be able to look at it and ignore it, being that, you use your hands for everything? It's a constant thing that you're going to see. Or is this something to really feel at ease that you're going to need to admit? And I got a sense that this is a guy that's going to admit this, whether it's to the authorities or to someone. I just don't get a sense that he's going to go off living this whole little happy life with this ghost of a finger. And the baby smiling at the end, that is a little star baby. That is a star. Okay. 'Cause I know babies are hard to work with in general, but that baby was on cue with everything. I mean, a star is born in the baby.
Finger was very, very intense. It does a very good job of building up suspense and mystery. We know that Michael has hurt someone, and what's interesting is this is a family thing in the sense that his father had hurt someone, and the lady comes to collect his fingers. Michael has done the same, and from what I'm inferring, years down the line, she's gonna come for his son. And it was definitely a very intense build-up, and the practical effects when he finally cuts off his finger, that was very brutal. But all in all, very, very intense film.
Finger was a film with two really, really good lead performances. The twist in the middle, I thought was pretty surprising, pretty well executed, and did a good job of increasing the tension of the film and keeping that tension throughout the rest of the runtime. I really appreciate that. I think that's hard to do, to kind of have a twist in the middle and then stop the film from fizzling out after that point. But I think that this film does a really good job with it. The themes and the ideas of the film, they're made abundantly clear, but in a way that doesn't really feel all that heavy-handed. And I thought that it was all executed reasonably well. The setting here was also really good and really well utilized. The ending shot in particular, I thought, was really great. There was this really nice juxtaposition, of the characters' situations inside the house versus outside the house. It was very well put together, looked great, performances were great, and this was a good film.
Really good job on this. I really like the premise, the twist at the end there. It was really interesting. It seems this guy, while he didn't have to pay the physical consequence in reality, he definitely was going to have to pay, explain things to his wife, and the truth is going to come out. So, really interesting. Everybody that all the actors in this did a great job. I really loved seeing Kate McFadden in this role. That was awesome. She was very, very good. All three of them and the child were all terrific. Really good. Very convincing. Very real. I love that last moment. The last moment, the little one smiles so cute, and she smiles back at him, and it cuts to the credits. That was very creepy and really kind of left you wondering. Kind of left you at the moment there. But great job on this. It was surprising. So anyway, I hope this gets out there and gets seen. Maybe you can do a series of them. Who knows? Great job.
Finger was really interesting. I think the phrase or the idea, like if you see a gun on stage in a play, it's going to be shot. I think you did that really well with this piece, where you introduce all these different, methods of violence, and they get used, and they chop off a finger. You established a lot really quickly with this phone call for a appointment, and you rely on the audience's own imagination to build suspense, which I really commend, because it builds up and there's more questions as it goes along, with this appointment, in contrast with this man and his family, and like, what's going on here. And truly having the audience use their imaginations is one of the biggest ways you can build suspense and build horror without really doing anything. So I really want to commend you for that. The acting was great. It made it incredibly tense, incredibly thrilling to watch. And I enjoyed the pacing of the piece. I think it was good, like I said, really suspenseful, and you build it up to the end where, you know, there are these reoccurring fingers, and he loses his finger at the end. See a gun on stage, the gun gets shot. Yeah, so really interesting. You built it really well paced, really well done.
Well, I'm not really sure what Michael did to Amanda. I'm going to guess it's something really bad to the point where it's haunting him, and it has something to do with fingers, and that's why this woman's collecting fingers from his family. Though it also looks like at the end she might just want his bloodline, since she was looking creepily at his baby. This film shows that the level of mental health, that a lot of things are in your head, that you see them, that you can see things that aren't really there. You can do things that aren't really happening, but your mind is saying you are. It makes it powerful when people don't really understand what's going on. It's just an interesting concept.
These reviews for Finger. This film is an excellent thriller of huge psychological value around guilt and repent. Beautiful scenery and a seemingly perfect family, and this encounter with this character bringing back memories of a different time for one of the characters, and just experiencing this, coming back, coming to terms to whatever he did in the past, and the specificity of taking someone's finger. I think it's a very clever message, and this whole transition in between images of what he is imagining and the wife trying to console him, it's just an amazing film. I'm very keen on psychological thrillers, and this is outstandingly good. Even it's quite short, I totally enjoyed it. Amazing job.